Let us pray. O Lord our God, we come before you today to celebrate the accomplishments of this graduating class of Aiken Technical College, year of 2015. We thank you for creating in us the desire to learn new things and the ability to grow in knowledge and experience. Guide these men and women to become all to which you have called them. We celebrate the many gifts of the graduating class, the work of their teachers, the loving care of their families in providing a place where they can succeed. We thank you for the opportunity to gather this day to honor this graduating class, that their efforts in arriving at this day are rewarded in the years to come with joy and prosperity. We remember all who have been a part of bringing these men and women to this day. We are grateful to those who have helped them stand when they fell, encouraged them when they struggled, and challenged them to grow beyond the expectation they set for themselves. For these and all your many blessings, we give thanks to you and pray to you this day. Amen.
You may be seated. Good evening. On behalf of Aiken Technical College's faculty, staff, and administration, it is my true honor and privilege to welcome you to our 2015 commencement ceremonies. Before they exit the gym, I want to thank the Midland Valley High School Navy Junior ROTC for presenting the colors today. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you for being with us. We have a great deal to celebrate this evening. During this ceremony, we will honor the achievements of our allied health and technical education graduates. Earlier today, we celebrated the accomplishments of our business and computer technology, general education, and nursing graduates. Today, 425 new graduates will collectively earn 510 academic credentials. Since its founding in 1972, Aiken Technical College has prepared local citizens with the education, training, skills, and opportunities needed for success. Through this past year, our faculty, staff, and students have made it a priority to partner with educational institutions, area industry, community organizations, and others to identify and create new opportunities for our students. The recent announcement of the 96.7 job placement rate of our graduates is an indicator of how our community partners with business to lead to employment. You can be assured that after you cross the stage this evening, either continuing your education towards a bachelor's degree or an immediate path to employment, that these opportunities are open to you and within your reach. Employment opportunities will only be strengthened as we open the Center for Energy and Advanced Manufacturing this fall. The center has been made possible through the support of businesses, government, and individuals in our community and is designed to be the focal point of the revitalization in our economy in this county. When completed, the Center for Energy and Advanced Manufacturing will house academic programs such as welding, nuclear quality systems, radiation protection technology, and advanced manufacturing. Our students also know the value of partnerships, and they have succeeded not only in the classroom this year, but in our community as well. For example, our Student Government Association developed and implemented a mental health awareness campaign to educate students and to support mental health awareness in our community. This year's Student Government Association was led by Melissa Gens and Vice President Victoria Robbins. Students in our campus ambassador program have been highly visible and involved on campus and at community events. They have helped applicants and continuing students feel connected by offering tours, guidance, support, and engagement opportunities. Our Student Veterans Association has been instrumental in helping to support the college's almost 200 student veterans or their dependents achieve their academic and personal goals. You will notice that many of our graduates this evening are wearing red, white, and blue cords in honor of their past or current military service. Our Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society inducted new members to the organization both fall and spring semesters, and it continues to recognize ATC students for their academic and service achievements. This spring, two of our students, Amy Mixon and Andrew Rutherford, were named to South Carolina's Phi Theta Kappa All-State Academic Team. They were among only 29 students statewide recognized at a ceremony in the South Carolina State House. We recently celebrated the accomplishments of our outstanding students at the college's annual award night ceremony. Joel Weisman, who is graduating this evening, was selected as the Student Service Award recipient for his dedication to the campus community. One of the students graduating earlier this afternoon was the recipient of the college's highest honor. Victoria Robbins received the George H. Buck Grant Award in recognition of her academic and college achievements. We are proud of each and every one of our student leaders. I would ask first that Joel Weisman stand to be recognized as our Student Service Award recipient. And then I would ask that all of our campus leaders stand and be recognized. If you are an ambassador involved in student veterans or student government, please stand and be recognized this evening. Our graduates' long hours of studying, exams, and classes, and extracurricular activities have reached their end. They have demonstrated that academic success was within their reach through hard and smart work, as well as being committed to their goals. The lessons our students have learned will serve them very well as they leave us and enter into the next phase of their lives. Graduates, I recognize your studies have not been without sacrifice. However, these sacrifices have not been without their reward. The credentials you have earned and the hard work, determination, and expertise they represent will be the foundation on which you build a career, gain standing in your community, and raise your families. As we honor you this evening, please remember those who walked alongside you through your studies and help you reach this moment. Your parents and siblings, spouses and children, and friends and colleagues are to be commended for the role that they played in helping you reach this commencement day. Graduates, at this time, would you please stand and face the audience and recognize all those who have helped you reach this moment. Please stand and recognize your family and friends. Thank you. I would also like to extend our gratitude to another very important group of individuals without whom this evening would not be possible, our dedicated faculty and staff at Aiken Technical College. This evening, the faculty were led in procession by the president of our faculty assembly, Dr. Karen Zagridnik, followed by the Dean of General Education and University Transfer, Father Gregory Rogers, the Dean of Health Sciences, Dr. Hermancinda Walton, the Dean of Technical Education, Dr. Joy Watson, the Dean of Business Computer Technology and Training, Dr. Stephen Simmons, and the Dean of Teaching and Learning, Dr. Jacqueline Georgie. To our faculty and staff, I offer my deepest appreciation for the knowledge that you have bestowed upon your students. Through your instruction, caring, support, and guidance, our students will enter the next phase of their lives with the education and skills needed to succeed. Faculty and staff, please stand and be recognized for your hard work and dedication to our students. Thank you. I will now turn and thank the platform party, which includes representatives of the College Commission, Foundation, and Executive Leadership Team. Please stand as you are introduced. First, I am pleased to introduce our commissioners, who are appointed by the Governor of South Carolina. They volunteer both their time and talents and play an instrumental role in guiding the course of Aiken Technical College. The commission members who are present with us this evening are Mr. Carlos Garcia, Commission Chair, Ms. Colette Ball, Mr. Joe Lewis, Vice Chair, Mr. Augustus Stevens, Secretary, and Mr. Bill Windley. Also on stage are Mr. Richard Allen, Senior Vice President of Operations and Quality Assurance for Centura Group LLC, our honored commencement speaker, who will be presented to you shortly. The Reverend Grant Buchanan Weisman of St. Thaddeus Episcopal Church, who offered our invocation a few minutes ago, and Mr. Jason Rabin, the chair of the ATC Foundation, who assisted me earlier today in presenting both the Faculty and Staff Member of the Year awards. Members of our executive leadership team include Dr. Gemma Frock, Vice President of Education and Training, Mr. Andy Jordan, Vice President of Administrative Services, and Mr. Brian Newton, Vice President of Enrollment Management and Student Experience. Also on stage this evening is Dr. Vincent Burdett, Dean of Enrollment Services, who will assist us in presenting our graduates. Please join me in welcoming our honored guests. In our afternoon ceremony, ATC Foundation Chair, Mr. Jason Rabin, assisted me in presenting the Faculty and Staff Member of the Year awards to two very deserving employees. I do want to take a moment and say that the foundation is critical to the college in raising funds, and many of these students sitting here tonight are the recipients of the foundation board members' efforts, because they are the ones that help raise funds for scholarships. So I really thank Mr. Rabin for the role that he plays with the college. The winners of our Faculty and Staff Member of the Year were nominated by their peers and selected by an appointed committee. First, we recognize the Staff Member of the Year. This employee demonstrates excellence in his work on a daily basis, striving to provide better service to ATC's students, faculty, and staff. He promotes a positive, can-do attitude in his department, allowing team members to voice their opinions and valuing member input. He encourages customer service, timely service, and lasting solutions to problems. This employee was a leader in establishing the Wi-Fi capability on the ATC campus that is high-speed and dependable. He has enhanced service levels provided by the Information Systems Department, commonly known as ISM. By developing an ATC request system that allows employees to monitor customer service requests. This employee joined the college full-time in 2004, and since then has been responsible for making the college's technology and information system processes more efficient and customer-friendly. He has also led the ISM department in its efforts to make Aiken Technical College a more technologically advanced learning environment. Our Staff Member of the Year is ATC's Director of ISM, Mr. Walter Busby. If you would stand and be recognized. Thank you. Also recognized this afternoon was our Faculty Member of the Year. This faculty member has helped students apply skills learned in the classroom to real-world activities that require students to use their knowledge as they will in the workplace. She inspires students and models professionalism both in and outside the classroom, always helping students to believe that they can succeed both academically and in their profession after graduation. One of her students described her as being energetic and passionate. He also said that he looks forward to her classes because he always knows that she will teach him something he did not know. This faculty member led the business department through a reaffirmation of accreditation in 2012 with no findings. And the accreditor was so impressed with her leadership that they asked her to serve as a peer evaluator for other college programs. Outside the classroom, she has served as an advisor to ATC's Veteran Association and has helped this student organization engage our military and veteran students in fellowship with one another and service to others. Our Faculty Member of the Year is Ms. Lee Hunt, Department Chair of Business. Lee, if you would stand, please, and be recognized. I congratulate both of you very much for your accomplishments and contributions to the college. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Garcia, who will recognize our guest speaker. Mr. Garcia.
It is my honor and pleasure this evening to introduce our distinguished speaker, Mr. Richard Allen. Richard Allen is the Senior Vice President of Operations and Quality Assurance for Centera Group, LLC, a global provider of protective services, base operations support, training, and critical infrastructure defense. Mr. Allen has more than 35 years of experience leading security, safety, fire and emergency services, nuclear safeguards, industrial security, and quality assurance programs. Mr. Allen has successfully led complex security and emergency services organizations in challenging environments, including the combat theater of Iraq and major Department of Energy and Department of Defense sites. While serving in Iraq, he was principal project manager responsible for fire protection and emergency services for over 200,000 U.S. military, DoD, civilian, and U.S. government contract employees. He also oversaw fire inspection services for more than 97,000 facilities. At the Savannah River site, he developed an elite tactical force and implemented a robust protection strategy to meet threats to nuclear material. Prior to assuming his current position, Rich served G4SGS, now Centera, and the U.S. Air Force in a number of senior vice president and vice president positions. Mr. Allen is a proud disabled veteran who has earned numerous military decorations, including the coveted Air Force Legion of Merit. Mr. Allen is also an entrepreneur who founded Citizens Park Office and Conference Center. This facility is the first of its kind in the greater central Savannah River area, focusing on the needs of today's mobile professional. Mr. Allen holds a Master of Science in Public Administration Management from Central Michigan University and a Bachelor of Science in Political Science from North Carolina A&T State University. He is also a graduate of the FBI National Academy and Cornell University's Executive Financial Management program. But Mr. Allen's journey to so many accomplishments started in very humble circumstances. He has an important message for us all about high expectations and perseverance. Please welcome Richard Allen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. To our distinguished guests, to the president of Aiken Technical College, the esteemed faculty, to the parents, to the spouses and families and the support systems of our graduates, and to this dynamic graduating class tonight. It is an absolute honor for me to serve as your commencement speaker. I'm delighted to be here. It's happy to see your smiling faces. In fact, as I look out on the audience and I see this newly minted talent, your arrival in the workforce could not be more timely. We're happy to have you here. A few weeks ago, in an attempt to assure that I was familiarized with the student environment, I had the opportunity to sit down with 4 representatives of Aiken Technical College. The polishedness, the poise, and professionalism exhibited by Ashley Morgan, Kristen Owen, Jack Hostetler, and our own Joel Weisman was just absolutely incredible. We have a great product here, and frankly, I think that the students of Aiken Technical College are second to none. Today I have a mission. It's a very specific mission, and frankly, we don't have a lot of time. So I will get right to my task of telling you a story about a man whose journey to success was fraught with challenges. Despite those challenges, he did manage to receive a full measure of success. I hope all of you will be encouraged as a result. As I was introduced a few minutes ago, you heard various and sundry titles. Titles like director, commander, founder, and a few other titles. And perhaps it's logical that I should spend the next few minutes that I have talking about my experiences in those areas so as to share with you. Some of us old-timers call that telling war stories. Actually, it would be fun to talk about some of those things. I'd love to be able to tell you about my opportunity to serve as a police coordinator for the inaugural parade of President Ronald Reagan. It would also be fun to tell you about the opportunity that I had to wear the title as a top cop in space. Literally, my empire was the world, 114 locations worldwide, over 5,000 security professionals, and the opportunity to just see and do things that were incredible. I could also talk about perhaps my involvement as a senior executive with my current company. And I could talk about certainly Iraq, the 26 different locations throughout the country where we provided support to our great American fighting force and our coalition there. I could probably also tell you what a business incubator really is and how that operates. However, while stories of my path to success could help you, I have a much different story that I would like to share with you today. Okay? I have a story that frankly I hope will help you become better instead of more bitter in life. This is the story before the glory. This is the story of what is inside. This is the story, frankly, of what's inside some of you and those who are driven to excellence. To make sure that we have this message in some context, let's use as a title, Driven by Content and Not by Context. Content, of course, being what's within you. Context, of course, are those external forces that are used for comparison and contrast. Okay? Let's get started. This is a story that I'm going to bare my soul, and I bare my soul just because there are those of you who are going out on a journey, and as you go out on this journey, you have high expectations. I will tell you, some will greet you with open arms, and then there are those who will treat you as an ambassador without portfolio. I want to make sure that as you go out into this world and as you do what it is you're going to do, that you remain unbroken, okay? The story begins in a little town of Badin, North Carolina, B-A-D-I-N, a town still today with only one electrical traffic signal, and that's a flashing caution light. It's a place where I learned my first lesson in public speaking. In fact, there was this hangout that we used to go to, and there was this sign. It said, if you want to be heard, speak up. If you want to be seen, stand up. If you want to be appreciated, shut up. I am going to apply those lessons with you today. Is that okay? At 6 months old, my father was killed in an automobile accident. This left my mother to raise the 5 of us children. My mother was a very proud woman. She was an educated woman. In fact, she had attended Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. Her faculty included the likes of Dr. George Washington Carver. Unfortunately, circumstances dictated where her work was that of a domestic worker, taking in ironing and doing whatever she could to support her children. She never accepted any public assistance. We were loved, we were safe, we had the basics, no more. After all, we're talking about a single mom with not very many resources. And of course, the 5 kids. The outsider expectations for the Allen kids was not very high. In fact, I once heard a conversation which said, all those kids, that boy, he ain't gonna be nothing. All them girls, Lord have mercy, or words to that effect. This was my context. Inside our household, things were different. Our world had structure, there was organization, and there was motivation. Get up, do your chores, study, don't quit, take your turn. Concepts such as responsibility, education, discipline, preparation, accountability, and high expectations were the norm. My content. Holidays were uneventful. Christmas, perhaps my favorite, was a time of prayer, a few gifts, and you know, all that stuff we looked at in the Sears and Roebuck catalog, none of that ever appeared. When it was time for back-to-school shopping, J.C. Penney's, 3 pair of jeans, 4 shirts. That was it for the year. Count your blessings, my mother would say. Take care of what you have. One day, you'll have everything that you want and your heart desires. Be faithful. My content. And oh, by the way, she would add, never give up. Innately, my mother must have known what Frederick Douglass once said. It is far easier to build a strong child than to rebuild a grown man. My first memorable competitive achievement came in the 1st grade during an oratorical contest. It's a group of 1st through 3rd graders. The prettiest girl in our classroom was selected to give the speech. In that my last name began with an A, I sat on the front row. As we got closer to the contest, our contestant was rehearsing each day in front of the class. I quickly paid attention and I learned the speech. One day, our contestant was having a very rough go at practicing her speech, and I was prompting her. She eventually started to cry, and my teacher berated me, she yelled at me, and she said, "This is all your fault. Now get up here, and if you don't say it perfectly," as she stood there with her 36-inch yardstick, "I'm going to give you the paddling of your life." Okay? Mom Will Tell Him by Douglas Mallet. You'd think a man would have to fix a clock that stutters while it ticks, so forth, so on, etc. Needless to say, I was able to recite the speech in its entirety, and the room fell silent. The teacher mustered the energy and said, "You're going to say the speech for the class." Well, we went on to say the speech. I won the contest, and that night, my berater became my elevator as she came to the stage and hoisted me up in her arms in congratulations for the effort that we had completed. People like winners. That's my context. Reciting the speech and being prepared is my content. By the time that I was 13 years old, I do believe that I had accomplished the single greatest accomplishment in my entire life. I set out to achieve perfect attendance in my Sunday school. Doesn't sound like much. However, in an environment where you have no family car, you have to walk a considerable distance, and you've got 4 seasons. A lot of that travel was through rain, sleet, snow, or whatever the conditions were, but frankly, I was determined to accomplish my goal. This was my first long-term success. By age 15, I was one of only 2 Eagle Scouts that my community has ever produced. Thankfully, there were those responsible ones in my community who put together the Scout troop to keep us boys out of trouble. The Scout troop and the Scout principals reinforced those teachings of my home, and they added and taught things like trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. My content. My fellow Eagle Scouts seem to have every resource known to man. Absolutely amazing. I remember him going off to the Philmont Scout Ranch, which was a big deal, and he came back with a pocket full of merit badges. I was happy for him. I was not a hater. I had the opportunity to father 2 Eagle Scouts of my own, and those Eagles are soaring. They have their educations, and certainly they were able to go on with quite accomplished college careers as both scholars and athletes. Son number 1 became an All-American out of Arizona State University. Son number 2, a 2-time national champion at the Florida State University. I talk about the athletic prowess and the accomplishments of my sons because it's very important, parents, for you to be in the lives of your children and to make sure that you pour into them the support and the excellence that is needed. Your achievement today can impact generations to come. Okay? My content propelled me, much like many of you, to seek higher education. However, when I looked at my resources and my mother and what she had to offer, there wasn't a lot there. I selected my college based upon the application fee. $15 to go to North Carolina A&T State University, $25 for everywhere else. Guess where I was going? Aiken Technical College for some of you. Does the economics make this your only option, or this circumstance make this your option? It's a great option. You stepped out and you did what you needed to do. I understand the concept of too much month at the end of your money, and the challenges that one faces in trying to get to their destination. Thank God I was accepted to college. I had no idea what I wanted to be. I just knew that I wanted to be better, and I knew that that was the path. And through faith, I would figure it out. Fortunately, when I got to North Carolina A&T, which was a land-grant college, ROTC had been compulsory. However, that particular year, the compulsory requirement had been dropped, and the staff had predicted a precipitous drop-off in enrollment. As such, when people applied, the different program managers were taking the applications from the other services. I applied for Army. The Air Force guy picked off my application. He had a lot to offer, and as such, I stayed with the Air Force. Amazing. On my way to becoming a full colonel, this was an interesting and challenging road. I cannot point to anyone in my 26-year career to say that this is the individual who signed on as my mentor. Nonetheless, we succeeded. In fact, it was a sad reminder of my formative years and the lack of expectation that my context had outside of me. Can anything good come out of a town? B-A-D-I-N, bad N. Sometimes people talk about Aiken and Aiken. Your context. We have content. Needless to say, good things do come out of small towns, large towns, and many, many places. In fact, I have allowed preparation and opportunity to come together many times in my various careers, and it has propelled my success. Now, as a corporate exec, I have tremendous opportunity, and I see some very interesting things. It's great to be able to track the transition as I work with my various NASA contracts, where we've transitioned out of the shuttle program and we're transitioning to space plane or launch on demand. It's also incredible to watch some of the activities that go on at some of the locations, such as the Lake City Ammunition Plant, the largest producer of small arms ammunition in the world, and to provide and support those type missions. It's equally rewarding to watch the science that occurs at NASA Ames Jet Propulsion Laboratory, down at Houston at the Johnson Space Center, Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, and other locations. Those are some great opportunities, as well as serving the Department of Defense and protecting national treasures like our United States Holocaust Memorial Museum. I also have the opportunity to protect some far-flung aspects of our empire, a couple of sites in a little place called Afghanistan. My encouragement to you all and to others is that parents, spouses, graduates, pour positive things into everyone that you come into contact with. Graduating class, you're already doing a great job of that. You poured significantly into yourselves. Plant positive seeds wherever you go. When my mother began pouring things into me, I did not understand the tremendous gift that I was receiving. In fact, there were times that I thought she was downright delusional. We were a family without a vehicle, and she would talk about the day when there would be so many cars that we would have difficulty in challenging each other to move the cars so that one could get out of the yard and go away. That's transpired. She already talked about the fact that for me, I would see various portions of the world and I would interact in the lives and help others, both near and abroad. As evidence of that prophetic word, I have a picture here of myself at the Baghdad International Airport, where we were supporting fire and emergency services operations. My mother also told me once upon a time that you, my son, will stand in the presence of royalty. If crack had been invented at that time, I would have sworn that she was on it. Frankly, my mother's prophetic word manifested itself in that arena as well. I hold as documentation of that, and I shared this with Dr. Windsor's validation. This photo has many people in it, but there are three that are very easily recognized. Sir Norman Schwarzkopf, who led the Desert Storm campaign. Also, there's a little lady in there with a yellow hat on who's the Queen of England. And the third person you were introduced to a little bit earlier this evening, myself. My content and what was poured into me. Statistically, I should not be here. Statistically, certainly, we are judged too often by our context. Instead of certainly marginalizing us by context, we have context-oriented thinking that puts you into boxes. Refuse to step into the box. In America, as an example, a key determining factor for building prisons is the reading levels of third and fourth graders. Other factors such as teen pregnancy, poverty, and so forth also are indicators as to where one's future is going to lead them. The pity here is that there are just too many people who go ahead and march into those stereotypes. They succumb to these context-based conclusions. Henry Ford is quoted as saying, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. I agree. Graduates, you obviously think that you can, and I wish you much success. Continue to forge ahead, climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow until you find your dream. Also, focus on your destination and not your location. And I will also share with you in closing a quote from General Colin Powell. Colin Powell says, "Don't be buffaloed by the experts and the elites. Experts often possess more data than judgment. Elites can become so inbred that they produce hemophiliacs who bleed to death when they're pricked by reality. Jump out there in the environment, do what it is that you have to do. Do not be intimidated, stand firm, and walk into your content." Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for the opportunity to speak with you today.
I want to sincerely thank Mr. Allen for taking time out of his very busy global travel schedule to be with us here tonight. We also thank his wife for being with us this evening as well. They are a great partnership. I thank you so much for sharing both your context and the content of your soul. And I thank him especially, too, for his long military service and for keeping us safe across this globe. Thank you so much. And let me offer this gift. Thank you.
I really enjoy it. Great honor.
Now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Gemma Frock, Vice President of Education Training, who will present our graduates.
Thank you, Dr. Windsor. It is my honor, on behalf of the faculty of Aiken Technical College, to affirm that the students before you have met their academic requirements for their program of study as approved by the Aiken County Commission of Technical and Comprehensive Education for academic year 2014 2015. Dr. Windsor, I present the graduating class of 2015.
Graduates, please stand. By the power vested in me by the State Board for Technical and Comprehensive Education, I now confer upon each of you the appropriate degree, diploma, or certificate. Congratulations on this life-changing achievement. You may be seated as Mr. Burdett, Dr. Frock, and Mr. Garcia assist me in presenting the awards to our graduates.
Christopher Dylan Barnes, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology, Paramedic. James R. Kelly, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology, Paramedic. Jacob Seth Key, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology, Paramedic. Brandy Christine Shelley, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology, Paramedic. Sierra Nicole Temlin, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology, Paramedic. Jackson C. Beecham, Associate in Applied Science, Radiologic Technology. Dana Boyd, Associate in Applied Science, Radiologic Technology. Ashley E. Buchanan, Associate in Applied Science, Radiologic Technology. Allison K. Jerkins, Associate in Applied Science, Radiologic Technology. William N. Lewis III, Associate in Applied Science, Radiologic Technology. Michelle Owens, Associate in Applied Science, Radiologic Technology. Crystal A. Rose, Associate in Applied Science, Radiologic Technology. Marcy C. Swint, Associate in Applied Science, Radiologic Technology. Douglas MacArthur Miller, Associate in Applied Science, Electronics. Ariel Denise Miller, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology. Gladys Sandra Wright, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology. Thomas Wayne Quattlebaum, Associate in Applied Science, Engineering Graphics. Dale Martin, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology. John A. Hart, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology, Welding. Derek Matthew Burns, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology, Welding. Sheldon Donovan Poole, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology, Welding. Aaron Judge, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology, Welding. Jeff A. Sewell, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology, Welding. William H. Taylor, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology, Welding. Joel Ray Whiteman, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology, Welding. Billy Brown, Associate in Applied Science, Industrial Maintenance Technology. Heather Michelle Cogdell, Associate in Applied Science, Industrial Maintenance Technology. Byron Lindsay Doe, Associate in Applied Science, Industrial Maintenance Technology. Roberta Curry Settles, Associate in Applied Science, Industrial Maintenance Technology, Electrical Maintenance Certificate. Joe V. Henderson, Associate in Applied Science, Industrial Maintenance Technology. Joshua Stephen Yan, Associate in Applied Science, Industrial Maintenance Technology. Michael Patrick Alexander, Associate in Applied Science, Radiation Protection Technology. Seth Taylor Bryant, Associate in Applied Science, Radiation Protection Technology. David Andrew Foreman, Jr., Associate in Applied Science, Radiation Protection Technology. Stephen Cody Garcion Herring, Associate in Applied Science, Radiation Protection Technology. Alandria Hightower Johnson, Associate in Applied Science, Radiation Protection Technology. Caitlin Elizabeth King, Associate in Applied Science, Radiation Protection Technology. Patricia Talla, Associate in Applied Science, Radiation Protection Technology. Megan Holly Westbrook, Associate in Applied Science, Radiation Protection Technology. Brittany Nicole Cluster, Diploma in Applied Science, Expanded Duty Dental Assisting. Haley Danielle Douglas, Diploma in Applied Science, Expanded Duty Dental Assisting. Sharonita Francesca Edwards, Diploma in Applied Science, Expanded Duty Dental Assisting. Amber Lynn Hartley, Diploma in Applied Science, Expanded Duty Dental Assisting. Autumn Haley Hudson, Diploma in Applied Science, Expanded Duty Dental Assisting. Catherine Mackenzie Keem, Diploma in Applied Science, Expanded Duty Dental Assisting. Ashley Nicole Lawrence, Diploma in Applied Science, Expanded Duty Dental Assisting. Jessica Jean Morton, Diploma in Applied Science, Expanded Duty Dental Assisting. Jordan Colleen Norris, Diploma in Applied Science, Expanded Duty Dental Assisting. Morgan Ray Robinson, Diploma in Applied Science, Expanded Duty Dental Assisting. Ashley Nicole Roon, Diploma in Applied Science, Expanded Duty Dental Assisting. April Michelle Thompson, Diploma in Applied Science, Expanded Duty Dental Assisting. Brittany Nicole Tucker, Diploma in Applied Science, Expanded Duty Dental Assisting. Annie S. Acosta, Diploma in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Tori Rhodes Allen, Associate in Arts, Associate in Science, Diploma in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Megan E. Barton, Diploma in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Crystal L. Black, Diploma in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Sharonda D. Dixon, Diploma in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Jordan A. Griffin, Diploma in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Lori Ann Hernandez, Diploma in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Priscilla V. Hamlet, Diploma in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Kelly A. Meyer, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology. Diploma in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Devron G. Jeffrey, Diploma in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Victoria L. Taylor, Diploma in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Kent D. Newell, Diploma in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Jennifer A. Reddy, Diploma in Applied Science, Surgical Technology, Pre-Allied Health Certificate. Lori M. Rogers, Diploma in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Bethany Danielle Barkaloo, Medical Assistant Certificate. Kelsey Mundy Cheek, Medical Assistant Certificate. Katie Leanne Cumby, Medical Assistant Certificate. LaPortia DeVay Hickson, Medical Assistant Certificate. Jack Doyle Hostetler, Medical Assistant Certificate, General Studies Certificate. Heather May Ireland, Medical Assistant Certificate. Brooke Nicole Johnson, Medical Assistant Certificate. Jennifer Leanne Madden, Medical Assistant Certificate. Gary Ladair McKee, Medical Assistant Certificate. Ashley Marie Moore, Medical Assistant Certificate. Letitia Amia Robinson, Medical Assistant Certificate. Caitlin Ashton Stampley, Medical Assistant Certificate. Sarah Christina Thames, Medical Assistant Certificate. Sierra Jo Wallace, Medical Assistant Certificate. Amber Lee Anderson, Medical Coding Certificate. Kimberly Elizabeth Crandall, Medical Coding Certificate. Shanice Monet Mack, Medical Coding Certificate. Deborah Joy Elliott, Medical Coding Certificate. Kristen Maria Owens, Electronic Health Record Certificate, Medical Coding Certificate. Barbara Story Weathers, Medical Coding Certificate. Felicia Bostick, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Tara D. Brown, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Janaya Monique Coleman, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Kara Annette Day, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Alicia R. Dunbar, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Michelle H. Freilich, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Jessica Lauren Hughes, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Jami Polo, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Brandy A. Pritchett, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Chantrell L. Richardson, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Ronnie L. Siegler Jr., Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Ashley Thompson, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Rosary Hill Tilby, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Kathleen R. Tokar, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Amber Truax, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Kim Wolf, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Amanda B. Wood, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Brittany Nicole Worrell, General Studies Certificate, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Jessica Worrell, Patient Care Assistant Certificate. Heath Glenn Barron, Pharmacy Technician Certificate. Brittany Lynn Gordon, Pharmacy Technician Certificate. Wanda Welch Holden, Associate in Applied Science, General Technology, Pharmacy Technician Certificate. Rosalinda Marie Harper, Pharmacy Technician Certificate. Dallas Breon Jefferson, Pharmacy Technician Certificate. Samantha Lynn Palker, Pharmacy Technician Certificate. Brittany Nicole Priester, Pharmacy Technician Certificate. Jennifer Sue Rutland, Pharmacy Technician Certificate. Jerome DeAndre Williams, Occupational Studies Certificate, Welding.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure and honor to present to you the Aiken Technical College graduating class of 2015. Graduates, you may now move your tassel from the right side to the left side of your mortarboard. On behalf of all of us at Aiken Technical College, I congratulate you and wish you the very best in your travels ahead and all the celebrations of the successes yet to come before you. Please join me all in one more round of applause for this stellar group of graduates. Following our benediction this evening, our stage party faculty, staff, and graduates will leave the gymnasium first. After the recessional, you are invited to join us in the courtyard immediately in back of the gym for a reception. Thank you so much for joining us for this very special celebration. Now please stand please for the benediction by Reverend Weisman.
Let us pray. O God, our Creator, we send these graduates of Aiken Technical College out into the world ready to continue the journeys that are prepared for them. Protect them with your love, guide them with your presence, and help them to find their passions and accomplish their dreams. For those who pursue further education, grant them the knowledge they will need and the wisdom to apply that knowledge to change the world. For those who will be going directly into the workforce, give them a sense of what is right and good and appropriate in the often confusing and challenging issues they will face. For those in or entering military service, grant them courage and strength. May they serve our country and all humanity with integrity and honor. For all these graduates and the families of which they are a part, we ask that they become the gifts to the world that we know them capable. And now, Lord God, send them out proclaiming what is right and good. Give them strength and courage to face troubled times. In adversity, help them to draw on the lessons learned here, to face those times with the realization that they have the ability to make things better. In times of joy, let them celebrate as we do this day. so that your joy may be complete in them. All this we ask in your name. Amen.